Hello everybody and welcome to Plating with Patsy. I'm Patsy and tonight we're going to make rigatoni. So in this mixing bowl I have some diced stew beef. This is all grass-fed stew beef and I love it. It's very tender and juicy. On it though, I do always use this with all my beef, Lowry's seasoning salt. So I've added that to it and then I just sprinkled enough flour over top of it to dust the meat. You know, you're not trying to bread it, you're just trying to dust it because we want to help this to thicken up. Okay, I'm going to go over here and get the skillet ready. Bear with me here and I'll get you all set up so you can see what's going on over here. I've got this set on 375, which is kind of like a medium setting for this little countertop griddle, whatever it is. New Wave, live well for less. Okay, so let's get that heated up. Now we're going to make our sauce in this 9 by 13 pan here. And that sauce is going to consist of, let me get this stuff out of the way. I processed this in the food processor, but it's a green pepper, 1 large green pepper, 2.5 tablespoons of minced garlic. I usually put 2 cans of Hunt's tomato sauce, and I do like to use Hunt's, but I didn't have 2 of the big ones, so we're going to use 1 big one and 2 small ones, which are 2 small ones equals 30 ounces, and the big ones are 29, so that should make it comparable. 2 small ones, 1 big one. Should make up for the 2 large ones that I usually use. And then you just add salt and pepper. Now remember that we put seasoning salt on the stew beef, so the beef stew, whatever you want to call it, stew beef. So that seasoning salt is going to give it a little bit of salt flavor, but not enough to be concerned about. Okay, let's see. This feels like it's pretty warm, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in here and start browning our meat. Okay. Let that sit for a minute. While that's sitting, we can get started on this. You don't have to worry about greasing up your casserole dish. Okay, sorry about that. Something stopped the recording. I'm not sure what. So you guys missed the part where I actually put the garlic in there in the sauce. So I don't know when it stopped recording because I had it facing down on the counter. So I put the beef in here with the grease. Do not drain it. And then I put the 2.5 tablespoons of garlic in here. And I have chopped up 1 large green pepper. Doesn't matter how you chop it. There's some big pieces in here. I used the food processor, chopped it up really fine. So we're going to put that in here. Now I think for my own benefit tonight, I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to add some onion powder, maybe a tablespoon. Maybe a half a tablespoon of onion powder. And just a little bit crushed red peppers. They don't normally go in there, but I'm in the mood for it. Alrighty. We're going to stir that all up. We're going to let this cook down, and we may have to add a little water to it. It just depends on how it cooks up. The grease in the meat really makes a lot of difference as to how much you have to deal with this. Sometimes you just put it in there, set the oven for an hour and a half, check it. Maybe you have to do another half an hour depending on your oven or how much meat you got in there. And that's it. Cosmo is my dog. Be a good boy. And I'm going to add a little black pepper to that. And like I said, we have that seasoning salt in there. But I think I'm going to add some more salt because I can tell you that's not enough to accomplish what I want. So we're going to add some salt to it. This is not really a difficult dish to make. It's pretty easy. You want to cook the sauce until you get to the point where the tomato is well blended. So you're not really tasting all that tomato. We want it to be blended up with all the spices and everything. All right, I don't want that to bake onto the side of my dish. So I'm going to put this in here for half an hour without a cover, and I'll check it. If it starts to get too dark on the top, which I don't think it will in a half an hour, but probably in an hour we'll have to put aluminum foil on it. We'll see. I do have a pan under that to catch anything that might run over the top, but it shouldn't. We got plenty of room there. Okay, with that being said, we're going to let that go, and we'll be back in just a little. All right, I'm back now. Sorry about that. The camera was facing the wrong direction. I don't know why the thing keeps turning, but it does. So what it is, it is. All right, so this is the Rigatoni noodles. This is not the brand that I usually use. It's not the type that I usually use, but it's what they delivered when I ordered groceries, so this is what we're going to use today. So I just wanted to show you that this is the next step after the sauce. When the sauce gets down to where it's got like a half an hour, 45 minutes, you want to go ahead and put the pasta in some boiling water and get it started, because this particular pasta takes about 20 minutes to get done. So with that being said, I'm going to take a pan over here and fill it full of water. And then we're just going to turn you around so you can see me. I don't know why you want to see the back of me, but we'll do that. Okay. So we'll get this water in there and get this thing started, because it takes a long time for this to come to a boil because we're using so much water. All right, you want enough water to cover the pasta completely, and wait till it comes to a rapid boil before you add your pasta to it. I am going to put a little salt in it. I always have. I've heard it makes it boil faster. I don't know, but I definitely know I like my pasta cooked with salt in the water. It seems like the salt penetrates the pasta better. If you put it on afterwards, it seems like it just kind of lays on the top instead of blending into the pasta. So we're going to do that when that pasta comes to a boil. All right, I'm going to put you all on hold and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So the pasta, let me show you. I took it off the pan and drained it. I didn't put anything in it. A lot of times you can put butter in it if you want, but this is pretty sticky. Like I said, I've not used this brand of pasta before. but it's kind of really sticky. So I'm hoping that the sauce will stick to it good. We won't need to add the butter to it. So with that being said, it's also time to check on that sauce that's in the refrigerator or in the oven. That has been in there about an hour and 20 minutes now. So we're going to check on that and see what that looks like. I'm just going to get you down there so you're in focus when I bring it over here, because it's going to be piping hot. So let's see what we got here. Woo! All right. Now that will fog up your glasses. As a matter of fact, it did. Fogged up my glasses. Let me get a spoon here. I want to see how thick the sauce is, because that's what we're doing now at this point, is we're just cooking this sauce. Okay, so it definitely needs to thicken up some more. It's pretty thick right now, but I'm going to say about 20 minutes. So our timer says 21 minutes before we reach the 2-hour mark. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back in there this time. No, I don't think I'll cover it. It's not getting too dark on the top, so I don't think I'll cover it. We will watch it closely because that's pretty thick. I just don't know if the meat's had time to get tender. Let's check out the meat. Alrighty, let's see what our temperature is. Yeah, wow, 177. It's definitely done. Now let's just see how tender it is, because the sauce itself is thick enough if the meat is tendered. Alrighty, I know what I'll do. I'll use a little paper plate because I'm getting tired of washing dishes here. Feels like to me it's not going to be as tender as I want it. And with that being said, we might have to actually put some water in it to get it, cook it long enough to get it tender. It's got to be tender because it's going on pasta. So you can't have tough meat on a soft, gooey pasta. It's got a really good flavor. I'm thinking about a half an hour more. Should get that meat right where we want it. I remember in the beginning I said you might have to add a little water depending on your meat. So since that sauce is getting pretty thick, this is the one I took this bite off of. This is a clean one. So this ought to let us actually put this in there for another 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I want that meat falling apart. Okay. Let's see what happens when we put it back in there. We're going to start with a half an hour and I'll check it. But I'm suspecting it's going to be at least 45 minutes. With that being said, give me a couple of these noodles. We're going to taste the product dressed up like it should be. It has a really good flavor. Okay, we'll say bake 350 and we'll do 45. I know it's going to take 45. This pasta ended up cooking about 25 minutes after it came to a boil. It's nice and tender. And the sauce is really good with it too. That sauce is outstanding. All right, we're going to put you on hold. We'll be back when the 45 minutes is up. Okay, we're back. We've got it out of the oven. What I did was I ended up cooking it for another 20 minutes on the 350. Then I turned it down to 325 and put the foil over it and cooked it for another 45 minutes. So I was just trying to get the sauce is already thick, and it was thick enough to begin with. But I wanted to get this meat a little bit more tender. For some reason, the meat's not very tender, but it's pretty tender now. So I think we're ready to go. So with that being said, I just pulled it out. You can see how thick that sauce is. So let's see here. I'm just going to get some of this on the plate. Just enough to taste it. Okay, this is piping hot. The sauce is. The noodles have cooled off. Mm. All right. So here we go. Let me get a piece of that meat. I am going to have to cool it down. Mm-hmm. That's falling apart in your mouth. That's the way it's supposed to be. Very good. So we had to cook it a little longer than we thought we was going to get the meat tender, but the sauce was good. So total cook time, about an hour and 40 minutes, 350, hour 20, hour 40, and then another 45 minutes under cover of aluminum foil at 325, and it came out perfect. Mm. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so that's it for now. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.